Welcome to DBL. It is Monday, March 18th. We are live and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. I'm here with Erica, Jeff, Al, and I'm Sam. Let's get started. Meghan McCain is hitting back at the president as we speak. This after the president took to Twitter this weekend to attack her father, the late John McCain. Here's what Meghan said on The View.
He spends his weekend obsessing over great men because he knows it and I know it and all of you know it. He will never be a great man. Your life is spent on your weekends, not with your family, not with your friends, but obsessing over great men you could never live up to. That tells you everything you need to know about his pathetic life right now.
And this comes in response to the president tweeting, quote, spreading the fake and totally discredited dossier is unfortunately a very dark stain against John McCain. He had far worse stains than this, including thumbs down on repeal and replace after years of campaigning to repeal and replace. All right, so here's the deal. Should the president continue to bash the late Senator McCain, who is not here to defend himself? What would you say to that?
You know, I think that it's interesting because from a strategy standpoint, it makes a whole lot of sense. If you attack a dead man, then you'll always win.
But do you win, Erica? But do you?
Well, in the mind of win-lose, which is this is a very black and white situation we're in. If I can say the last word and I can get someone to back me and believe in me, then in the hearts and minds of the people that I care about, I have won. It's a very sad state of affairs. What you saw with Meghan McCain was that's called when a woman's fed up, it's too late to talk about it. Like, it's very much, I said what I said, this is what I mean, and she pulled absolutely no stops to actually make that happen. And I really commend her for the way that she talked about it and holding her composure the way that she did, because I don't know if I would have been able to do it.
I don't think I could have if that were my father. How about you?
No, definitely not. And I don't blame Meghan McCain one bit for saying what she said. She just recently lost her father. It wasn't that long ago. And then having the president of the United States talk bad about him. I just have something that I think a lot of people in this country have lost is respect. Respect for the dead, respect for others. And, you know, I've been trying to get President Trump's back as much as I can on a lot of different issues. The tweeting thing for me has been an issue from the beginning. I thought he should never go on Twitter. I get his point of view that he reaches a lot more people than the New York Times. But if you're going to be putting yourself in a controversial position every time you tweet something, maybe you shouldn't tweet as much.
Although his base seems to like to hear from him via Twitter. They seem to think that is relatable.
Well, that's so interesting to me because, I mean, wasn't it his base that was burning Nikes when people were worried about people kneeling? I mean, they're so gung-ho about being proud about this country. This is a president that didn't lower the flags to half-mast when I would say bipartisan across the board, everybody agrees this is one of our greatest war heroes that's ever lived. He has disrespected this man, calling him not a war hero, which we don't even have time to get into that. So I'm just so shocked that we don't see any comments backing up John McCain. Everybody is so gung-ho about being proud about this country, and I'm a true patriot, and don't kneel, don't disrespect the flag. This man was a walking embodiment of what we thought our country was, and he continues to be attacked, and I don't hear anything from his base. So I'm just like, I just wonder how they live with that.
Yeah, you can still back a president, but still call out things that you don't agree with. I think our very own Jeff Schroeder just you exemplified that by saying that.
Right.
And I think that's important. I think we all need to remember that, despite party lines. All right, let's move on to this next one. Paris Jackson is in the headlines today after it was widely reported over the weekend that the 20-year-old model and daughter of Michael Jackson was hospitalized. TMZ broke the story that Paris was placed on a 5150 psychiatric hold after a suicide attempt on Saturday, and later went on the report that Paris was released from the hospital. But Paris is denying the report, tweeting, quote, blank you blanking liars. Paris was later seen out and about smiling with her boyfriend, grabbing some KFC. I can't even imagine, Erica, how hard it must be for this young girl right now. I mean, given everything about the documentary, what people are saying about her father, and how she feels like that she can't even work in a town that she really wants to work in.
Paris Jackson isn't equipped for this because the fact of the matter is no one is.
Yeah.
How do you take on an entire, not only, her father was larger than life. You're talking about an entire struggle with a legacy. Legacy is what happens after you die. It's what everything that is talked about for you after you die. There's not a single person that's going to be able to come up, especially not his 20-year-old daughter, who, by the way, is used to prematurely taking this stance. If we will remember the day of the actual funeral, it was Paris Jackson who stopped everybody in their tracks when she talked about who she knew her father to be and how she felt her father should be remembered. And that little girl wasn't even in the double digits units at that point. So this has been a tremendous cross that she's been bearing since day one. And the idea that she's the one that's speaking up, it seems like someone needs to step in to make sure that she's okay, because she doesn't have the tools to deal with this.
God, I think you said it best.
That's right.
Yeah, really hard, really sad. All right, Reese Witherspoon is schooling everyone in how to shut down tabloid stories after OK Magazine reported this week about baby bombshells for Reese and Jennifer Garner. Well, Reese responded on her Instagram account, posting a picture of the tabloid cover and commenting, quote, "Hey, Jen Garner, can we raise our imaginary babies together?" Reese got a lot of comments in response, including from Sarah Michelle Gellar, who said, "Only if I get to imaginary babysit," which prompted Reese to ask Gellar, "Will you be the imaginary godmother?" You know this all too well, right? I mean, you have the tabloids immediately post things about you and Jordan when you had Leighton, when you had Lawson. What would you say to that?
I think their approach is the best. You laugh it off, because if you strike back, that's exactly what they want. They want you to strike back. People want to get in. They want to jump and pile on this conversation. You have to have humor in a situation like this, or ignore it. Those are my two pieces of advice. What I do. And trust me, it happened like once.
I'm gonna I'll ask our legal Tori during the break about this, but can you just print things that are just erroneous? Because we sit in that room every morning and make sure that we cover our tracks in terms of if we're not sure something is a confirmed story.
I think
this is in print and went out.
They can blame it on a source, and as funny as it is how they handled it, and I give credit to them, can you imagine being a young woman who is in the middle of infertility struggles, Erica, and then you have a tabloid? That's what happens to Jennifer Aniston all the time. They have families, so they can laugh it off, but what if you were somebody that's not in that position? How do they feel?
You know, I'm a woman who doesn't have children. I'm 37. Wait, no, I'm 38 years old.
28.
Erica, I'm right there with you, girl.
I'm like, how old am I? No, I'm 38 years old, and this seems to be like one of the last remaining places where people feel like this is okay. And I think it's also because people have this idea of like, oh, you're a celebrity and you're rich, just go cry into your bag of money. We have real problems. But I do think that it's overstepping. I don't think it's overstepping like everything needs to be shut down in the world, but of course.
Yeah. I agree. All right, we got one more story to get in. We have to give a big DBL shout out to a 7-year-old from Las Vegas who wowed fans at Celine Dion's show.
Was it me?
Was not you. You're not 7. Check it out.
Oh. 1,000 dreams I still believe.
Wow. Now, you're usually quite the critic when it comes to child performers. Yes, you are.
But in contests when they're going up against adults, which I think is it's an advantage. That's very cute. And obviously, it's beyond cute. That girl's got an incredible voice and a great future in front of her. I'm just saying it's not fair when you use the cute thing against adults, because like this face can't compete with a 7-year-old.
No, good for her. The confidence of that 7-year-old. Can you imagine?
To do that in front of Celine Dion?
I know.
Being that young kind of helped her in that position. Because had she been old enough to realize what was really going on, maybe that would have shook her a little bit.
Wow.
See, that's what happens before the world tells you who you're supposed to be. You just are.
I know, right? God, that's such a good quote.
Sam,
who's
the first celebrity you met when you were?
I didn't make that up.
You remember?
Yes, Huey Lewis. Huey Lewis from the news. I met him on the ski slope, and I had him sign my fanny pack.
That's cool.
Huey Lewis.
From the news?
He was a local anchor.
Huey Lewis and DBL is live, and we'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens.